Okay.
Hello? Testing.
I got it now.
Yeah, I gotta keep it really
Yeah.
close. Hello? Testing. Okay.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
gotta be like this.
Yeah.
Oh, we got 70 people.
I only got like 5. No, I guess. Oh, it's the same shit. Yeah.
What's up, guys? I'm here. Coach Joe. I'm live.
Thank you. What's up, guys? Welcome to Between the Bouts. Today we have a very, very special guest. Before that, let me introduce Maggie Magdiant. And to my left is Jonny Mansour. And did I say that perfect? Mansour. I know this kid. I don't know. He was what, 10, 11? Yeah.
Probably even younger.
Even younger.
Long time.
This has been in the making for I don't know how many months, but he's busy, we're busy, and we finally got the chance to have him here with us. I don't know where to start. First, Maggie, what you got?
Well, I was ready to kick it off with the fights if you guys want, unless no.
Go to the fights real quick.
Yeah, real quick,
Jonny.
Jump right into it. Let's do
Real
right.
quick, man, just because it's like the internet is on fire about Usyk and the controversy with that ref's decision, man, to stop the fight. So just to get that one over with real quick. That was crazy. I don't know. Did you watch it?
I missed the Usyk fight. I did see the highlights though. The way that guy fights was crazy.
Yeah.
Like his style of like leaning forward and punching, but I heard he's a UFC guy, so
No, he's a kickboxer.
Kickboxer.
So when I knew he was fighting Usyk is for me one of my favorite fighters. So I was all like, Usyk better knock this fool out. Like it kind of like Joshua did in Ngannou, because I'm a boxing purist, so I don't like nobody jumping over to our sport, you know? So I don't give a shit. So when Rico starts not beating, but being very competitive with Usyk, and yeah, he was winning the rounds.
Yeah.
I slowly started like thinking of like the Rocky movie.
Yeah.
Like Rocco. You know, he's fighting the world champion, you know? And all of a sudden I started cheering for Rico a little bit, you know, like, wow, he might pull it off. And I look on BoxRec because we're with Ashley, and Ashley goes, he only has one pro fight. Like, what? No, I went on BoxRec, he had one pro fight.
Yeah, one and
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Think about it.
Yeah.
A guy with one pro fight in boxing comes to our sport and is beating our pound for pound heavyweight.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
Pound for pound.
Yeah.
Not only heavyweight.
Yeah.
Pound for pound.
Top pound for pound, undisputed. Well, no, Ashley said that it wasn't undisputed because I think a couple of sanctioning bodies were like, nah, we're not going to sanction this. I can't remember which ones it were, but apparently it was only for 3, not 4. Yeah.
That's just,
which is understandable.
And
one title's big enough. Huh?
And he made 17 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Wait, they compared it to the last UFC pay-per-view event. He made like double what the whole card made. That's crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
Well, you know, I just thought it was very unfair. I thought the referee should have let him at least finish the next round.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the fight, the controversy was the round was over.
Yeah. It was 1 second left.
Yeah, and they let it, and you know, so he deserved, if he's winning the whole first 3/4 of the fight, he deserved to get one more round. Let Usyk knock him out if he's gonna knock him out, or let this guy go on the shield or win.
Yeah.
That would have been a story of itself.
I think it was worthy of at least another 8 count. At least because he was against the ropes and he wasn't answering shots, but the shots weren't landing clean either. So it just honestly just live. I remember just being, whoa, that was way too quick, man. It just looked off, the whole situation, especially after him winning at least most of, except for maybe 2 rounds.
Yeah,
that could have gone for Usyk, and I would say that those are swing rounds. It wasn't even like clearly an Usyk round because he would steal moments out of the round as well. But yeah, that was it was crazy. It was crazy to watch live. To be honest with you, you're talking about one of the best heavyweights in history. Yeah.
So we'll see what brings the future for Rico and for Usyk. On another subject, I gotta apologize to Frank Sanchez and anybody knows. So I picked Torrez to win.
So did I.
You know, I picked Torrez to win. It broke my heart. We seen Torrez, and I know his guy knows him personally. So, I saw him in the performance center, and we saw him.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, man, I hope he does well. He has a good energy. You know, I like
He's
the
a good kid.
Good kid, good young man.
Yeah.
I don't like to call men kids, you know. And seeing him lose that way, it hurt, you know. But I also seen Frank Sanchez's struggles and how he's, when he lost, how he got ridiculed and how he got treated.
He got written off.
Yeah, he got written off. And I honestly, the reason I picked Torrez was because Sanchez didn't look that sharp in the training camp. We saw him.
True.
And I was like, damn, Torrez going to pull this off.
Here's a quick question for you. What do you think about boxing fans just writing fighters off after, and his loss came against Caballel, who's arguably one of the great heavyweights right now. So it's kind of I find it kind of unfair at times that you take an L and they're like, he ain't shit.
Yeah, that's not fair.
He's done pretty much.
How do you feel about that, Johnny? You trained with Torrez, didn't you? You guys know him really well, no?
So Richard is my guy. So to see him, lose in that type of fashion was very sad.
Yeah.
I was actually golfing when I saw it. And I golfed, terribly for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Your head wasn't in the game?
My head wasn't in the game at all. Like, I played a horrible game. And I was sad, because Richard is, we grew up together at the Olympic Training Center training, and I've seen it all, and he's one of my best friends. So seeing him get knocked out like that, boxing is a very sad sport. The win is the most unloyal thing in life.
Yeah.
And to see Richard, go down like that. But I know that he'll be back.
Should be back, yeah.
Back. I've always believed in him. He got knocked out at the World Championships, and he came back and ended up, winning an Olympic silver medal, fighting that same guy that beat him and almost beating him in the Olympics, fighting the guy that knocked you out. So honestly, I give him a lot of props. He's been a guy that has overcome adversity before, and I think he'll overcome this time as well.
He's the guy that if anybody can come back, it's him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He could bounce back, and I hope he does. He's a good kid. I don't know him like you do. I seen him a couple of videos when he was out there at the Bomber Squad with you guys.
Yeah,
training a couple times. He came to visit, and the kid is a young man like that. I wish nothing but the best for him. He's a warrior, and it sucks that people will ridicule him or write him off. When he lost, he's an Olympian. You know how hard it is to be an Olympian.
Super hard. It's not easy at all, man. Winning is the most unloyal thing. I like the way that sounds. It reminds me of things that you say, that everybody wants to be by your side when you win, but when you lose, where are those people at? It gets really quiet in that locker room. You know what I'm saying? So it's true. I understand what that means to those who might not understand it. It's like, man, it's even when you do win, sometimes it might even feel a little empty, because it's like it's almost a little fake, unless your true inner circle who really wants to thrive that win with you. But it's strange. You kind of you see a lot of things for what they are when you
absolutely,
you're constantly winning.
I call them right after the fight.
Yeah,
because I've been there before. Where I've faced adversity and lost in the amateurs. And I look at the phone and it's dry. There's no calls. So it's times where when you lose, the people that are there for you matter most. So I make sure to call them because I've been there before in the amateurs where my phone was empty when I lost.
Yeah.
And I paid attention to the people that were still there.
Yeah.
Everyone is there when you're winning, but not everybody is there when you're losing.
Exactly.
True, man.
So I called him and made sure his head was still there, and he'll be back. And I'm proud of him at the end of the day. He picked a tough fight.
Yeah, that is a tough fight for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, a tough fight.
Another former Olympian.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a good fight.
Man.
I made a call like that too. At the MVP fight card, one of the guys that used to train with us, Jeff Creighton, he got knocked out in like 30 seconds. And that was and I didn't have the courage to call him when it happened.
Yeah.
I felt bad. Yeah. And I called him yesterday.
Yeah.
And we had a great conversation. And he said, "You know what, coach? This sport is bound to happen sometimes. Sometimes it never happens. Sometimes it does. I played that game and it happened. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I got knocked out by a guy who was in the UFC, who has a lot of experience, nobody wanted to fight. So he understood, there's technical things that happen that he could fix.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't like the modern era of boxing. Of course, if you're undefeated, it's a beautiful thing, but sometimes you take a loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't sound like it doesn't make you a worse fighter.
I love it. It's in the sense of like boxing. I mean, it's so synonymous with life. It's a trip how much I think that the sport helps you mature, if you allow it to, at least, So,
I mean, the Sheeraz fight, shout out to him. I want to go into Jonny Mansour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go into Johnny, man. I want to talk to Johnny. Let's you shoot the questions at him.
Yeah.
He'll answer them, and we'll interrupt him a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about
All right.
him.
Well, first and foremost, man, we were stoked to be on that card with you back in was it a couple months ago? I'd say a month and a half ago at this point.
At the Front Wave Arena
in Oceanside, man. That was a very unique experience for us. So, we would love to know, get your insight on what it was like to promote your first fight. And not only that, but it was in your own hometown, man. That's huge.
You left something out.
What's that?
Pack the fucking house.
Pack the house.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Pack the house.
That was badass.
Yeah. All local fighters, by the way. Not easy to do. I don't know. I'm very curious to know what that feels like, man. Because as a fighter, it's one thing, but to be able to bring other fighters and opportunities for other fighters, local fighters that you've known for probably most of your career, what was that experience like?
It was a beautiful thing to see everybody come together. The night was not only about me; it was about all the local fighters in San Diego. Me and my cousin Juju, we've been fighting our whole lives. So to structure this promotion company, together and alongside with, my uncle Jack, putting everything together, something that we always visioned, growing up as kids is being, professional fighters and promoting our own shows. We all wanted to sign with the big leagues, but sometimes, boxing is in a very weird position right now.
True.
With Zuffa taking over and some promoters, kind of backing off. So at the end of the day, us as fighters, me and Juju decided to promote our own show. We were supposed to fight in San Diego last year in October. Few promoters, didn't want us to pull the trigger. They didn't want to pull the trigger on putting a show at Pechanga Arena. Remember that? We were supposed to be at Pechanga Arena
yeah, man.
in October.
Yeah.
And they just said it's too much of a risk. If we don't sell 2,000, 3,000 tickets, we lose a lot of money. So we took the risk ourselves.
Amazing, bro. It was awesome.
And we did it. Thankfully, the whole, me and my cousin Juju, we headlined the show. We sold 4,700 tickets, but it wasn't only us. It was, your fighters, Kyle and all the other guys that were on the undercards.
Yeah.
It was a night of San Diego talent. And a lot of San Diego fighters don't get the opportunity to showcase their talent on the big stages. Boxing is a tough sport to make it to where you want to get to, and to get these promoters to invest into you. So we did it as fighters and as promoters. And shout out to the team and all the local gyms and the local coaches like you guys to put on your elite fighters. Everyone was able to showcase their talent. We brought a lot of people. We actually broke the record in San Diego for how many people attended a boxing fight.
Hell yeah.
And let's just continue doing it. Let's keep showcasing our talent on the biggest stages, bringing the San Diego community together, all the gyms together. As I continue to develop in my career, I'm happy to continue to share the spotlight with all the other fighters that are out there working hard in San Diego.
That's amazing, Johnny. I was thinking about you and Juju when that fight was going on, and I was thinking, I wonder what the feeling they have on their shoulders right now.
I was about to ask that.
Because I remember amateur shows, fighters invite 10 people and they're fucking nervous. These guys had,
yeah, dude.
I don't know how many thousands of people there.
Yeah.
Half of them were there for them. More than half were there for him.
Yeah.
And to go out there and perform, and then they pick some tough fights for themselves.
Yeah, true.
Most fighters will bring in a body and just tear them up.
Yeah.
They pick some tough fights. And I told Juju when he was here, I admire you guys because you guys have always challenged yourselves. I don't know where it comes from, but you guys are competitive by nature and you guys always find a way.
Yeah.
I admire that, man. And I told Jack the same thing. And I barely got to meet your dad. Your dad kind of intimidates me, bro. Because he's kind of like just stares at me, but then he'll smile sometimes, And I'm like, is he cool or not? Your dad is amazing, bro.
My dad's a serious guy.
Yeah.
That's just how he grew up.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more serious. He keeps me sharp.
Yeah.
But yeah, me as a person growing up, my dad was always making me make my own decisions in life.
That's beautiful, man.
He never guided me. He guided me, on the back end, but he never told me what steps to take.
Yeah.
He just told me, how to move, but not what steps to take.
Yeah.
That's what type of person my dad is, and it's made me, my own man in life, and honestly, I respect that. In the beginning, it was frustration, like, Dad, why how do I do this? And he'll be like, son, you know what to do. And I'm like, Dad. And I'm like, but now that I made these decisions on my own, it's made me who I am today, as my own man. So. Well, you should say what's up to him. Is it great?
I do. No, I do. I say hi to him. But when I seen your dad many times before. But when you would go to Bomber Squad to spar, or a few times you came to spar to our gym, and and I just make eye contact with him. But lately, I shook his hand and we've been talking.
Yeah,
he's the kind of guy who I think won't talk to you unless he knows you. You know?
Yeah. He's just to himself.
Yeah, but he's badass. He's cool. I can watch him being a dad, observing you and making sure that you're squared away. He just stays in the back, you know, kind of like making sure you're squared away.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I was just thinking about that pressure, man.
Yeah,
that pressure
dude,
of being a fighter.
Straight up. But you know what? He just says something very important, and I believe, and I tell Joe this all the time, in the young fighters that we have in the gym, and even the young men. There is something scary about an indecisive person, let alone an indecisive man. So to learn how to make decisions on your own from the get-go means the world, man, because it creates a leader who's not afraid to lead, So kudos to your dad, man. That's so important. And so you don't really hear too much about that. You be a man, be okay. Yeah, but like how,
Yeah, how?
Make decisions on your own. That's very important. If you fuck up, you fuck up. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It is what it is.
Yep.
But what has motivated you? For you and your cousin Juju, right? Did you guys both start fighting at the same time, or was it him first or you first?
So Juju started fighting when he was I believe 5 years old. I started boxing when I was 8 years old. And it came down to one day. I was swimming in my grandma's gym.
Yeah.
And my grandma's pool. I'm sorry.
I was like, gym? Your grandma had a gym, dog? Like, damn. Boxing goes that deep.
I was swimming at my grandma's house, and Juju was going to the boxing gym. And, I was a young kid, 8 years old. And he's like, I'm going to the boxing gym. You want to come? And we're having a pool party.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, boxing? I'd love to come. I just walked into the gym, and it was love at first sight.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. My uncle said, you want to start boxing? And like I said, it was love at first sight. I never missed a day since.
Wow, man. That's awesome. You're about 9 too, right?
9 when I started.
9?
Nah.
And was it like similar? Like you just go in and you fall in love?
I knew it was for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it was for me.
Yeah.
And
It's like a calling.
Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, to this day, huh? Yeah, man. That's and it's crazy. You guys obviously you come from you guys are Chaldean, which is, to those who probably don't understand that, what background is that?
Yeah, so my family's from Iraq.
Yeah.
We come from a small community in Iraq. We're Catholics, Catholic Chaldean.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Mijo, I saw you went to Iraq.
Yeah, recently.
How was that?
I just came back.
We had the May Queen here, and we asked her because she went too, and she was. How was it for you?
Oh, it was beautiful, actually. We went there, and I actually got my passport, so it was cool to see where my dad grew up and everything. So it was great.
Oh, that's amazing, bro. Like, yeah, that's cool. I remember, I always went to Mexico, to Tijuana, but when I went to Michoacan,
like deep in there, yeah.
When I go to Michoacan, it's like, oh, this is Mexico, because Tijuana. Don't get me wrong, Tijuana is Mexico, but
yeah, it's different.
The culture, the I don't know, the values, all this stuff is not there in the city, the big cities,
Yeah. So, but you guys, man, a lot, I'm sure people see, social media, Johnny has nice cars and all that. But dude, like Joe says, I think it's like dangerous for a guy to already have all that stuff and still want to do this shit every day, man. So what drives you to continue to do this, man? Because it's not easy. You can literally do whatever you want. Like what drives you to continue to box?
Honestly, just the passion of doing something that I love to do.
Yeah.
So the money don't matter in life. It's about having a passion.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just, I'm doing something what I love to do.
Yeah. That's very true, man.
The reason Maggie brings that up is because people have brought up to me, like you and Juju, Hey, ask Adam if you could turn on the fan in here, yeah, before we stop. There's a question asked by one of our TikTok listeners who you know very well. And he said, do you remember punching him he didn't say where. You remember punching him in a fight, and his name is Hondo Fontaine.
I didn't punch him, though.
He said you punched him in a fight.
Wait. You talking about Hondo?
The referee, yeah, official.
So I didn't punch Hondo. So
Hondo, he said he didn't punch you, Hondo, just so you could know.
So
In
one
the
time-
face, he said.
Damn.
No, I remember when I was fighting though, and I think it was Hondo, and I was churning, and then the ref tripped, and like I looked, I think it was Hondo. Was that
Yeah.
you, Hondo?
Hondo, you better not be
Yeah.
falling in the ring, dog. He says he has the video, dog.
Oh, damn.
Hondo, send me the video. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna post
I
it
need
on
to see that
TikTok.
I definitely need to see that.
We'll go back to the TikTok. What was the question? I'm back to the TikTok. Back to the question. What were we talking about before we got a little hot
Well,
in here?
So we were talking about what motivated him to keep going, but
Yeah, you can ask me that again.
yeah, if you want, go ahead. I mean,
Say it again, say it again.
Huh?
Say it again.
what motivates you to keep going in the sport, you know, and you mentioned it's all about passion, and I agree with you, man. I always say that if you're not willing to do this shit for free, man, it's because it's very tough. It'll test you day in and day out. You think you have a good day, but you know that shit could be very deceiving because the next day might be the complete opposite, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said earlier, like, you know, you come from a family that has money, and
Yeah.
what motivates you. You know, life is not about, you know, the money. Life is not about the accomplishments. It's about the journey.
Right.
You know, so just following your heart in life, and truly doing what truly makes you happy is the end goal for me.
Yeah.
It's not about, you know, how much money you have or how much money I'm making from the sport of boxing. It's about the journey that I get to experience with my team, with my coaches, the people that I meet throughout this career. You know, sitting down in this room with you guys, I value, you know, every piece of my journey more than my accomplishments. You know, even the trophies, the belts that I have sitting in my room, you know, those, when I pick those up, it's not the prize that matters. It's the memories that come behind the prizes. You know, so for me, money doesn't matter. You know, chasing my heart, chasing my dreams of becoming a world champion, and the journey throughout that. It's like they say, it's not the destination, it's the journey that matters. And I repeat that all the time because no matter how much I accomplish, I always want more.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never satisfied. I'm grateful, you know, and I'm thankful, grateful, but I always want more. We'll always want more. You know, you make more money, you want more money. You become a world champion, you want to become a 2-time world champion. You're always gonna want more in life. But for me, it's the journey of all of it, you know, that I get to experience, and not just for me, the lives, the impact that I'm making to this world. You know, even the little things like you know, failure and bouncing back. You know, there's people that go through what you went through a long time ago. You know, there's people that are going through currently like what you're going through, you know. So
Right.
teaching each other, you know, your experience in life, and helping each other battle, you know, to get through the accomplishments and the journey in life. It's kind of making an impact and inspiring the world is what motivates me.
That's awesome, man. And it's very true. It You know, I never thought that I'd find myself doing this, you know, for life because I truly think that I found a purpose, right? But there are times where I'm sitting in spaces and I'm like, yo, how did I get here, man? This is crazy. And you know, you keep yourself. I think this sport keeps you really grounded and keeps you humble, day in and day out. So, and it's true. You get to meet a lot of people that you probably never even imagined. You know, it's a crazy journey.
Not just for that, he gets to spar people he never imagined. He gets to do
Yeah.
things like that, you know. Like this journey is amazing. He said something, enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
That's something that most fighters don't think like that. I was intrigued by him and Juju how wise they were they're still young, but at a young age they've been like this for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, what, did you guys get together and plan this shit out, or how did this happen, bro? Because you guys are so wise. It has to be a collaboration of his grandparents and his mom and dad and
Parents
and the uncles and everybody that's part of the, you know, building the family dynamic, you know, because there's the way I never got to meet your mom. I never did, but seeing your videos and the things that I seen, I mean, mom's a mom no matter what, but she was a huge component in your life, you know,
absolutely.
and you know, your Uncle Jack, that's your mom's sister, brother and sister, right? Your Uncle Jack is amazing too, bro. Like I tell him that all the time on the phone. We chop it up all the time, and I know where it comes from now. You know, and your dad's side is a different side. You got to have different things. You know, where am I going with this? Was the question that we're going to ask him. How did you deal with all this? You fight? What motivated you at those moments with the very dark about when your mom was fighting cancer?
It was walking in the hospital and seeing, you know, what she was going through. My life kind of stopped. Like, you know, at first it was very hard. You know, I wanted to just let go of everything and question God. But I'm like, you know, I have my mom sitting here fighting for her life, you know, fighting for her last breaths. and I'm over here complaining about going to the gym or going to work or wanting to get back up, and my mother never questioned God, even in her last days, her last hours, her last minutes. She never lost her faith.
Yeah.
And, for me as a man, she leaves nothing behind and takes nothing with her. But what lasts forever is her legacy and her kids. And my goal now is to be the man and show the world that this is the man that she raised, and to raise my kids the way she raised me. And honestly, what motivated me to keep fighting is the way that she continued to fight. She fought every single day and she never gave up. She never questioned God. Cancer defeated her body physically, but never her mind mentally. And that kind of inspired me to walk into the hospital one day and look at her in the eyes and say, "Mom, I'm gonna take my fight. You're gonna continue to fight, and I'm gonna do this for you." And I wanted to give her something to look forward to, and that gave her 2-3 extra weeks of life. So now, going through that moment and convincing myself she's going to be all right, and winning and coming home and her passing away was the hardest thing to ever deal with. But I've kind of been surrounded by a world that are going through the same thing. For me, I always lived in a perfect bubble. Death was never, my mother was the first funeral that I attended, and death was never, ever even a thought in my mind, in my family, until my mom passed away. And since then, I feel like God has surrounded me with so many people that are just hurt and that are just trying to give up because they've lost a loved one. And I'm getting messages 24/7. Hey, I lost my mom. Hey, I lost my dad. And the way that you stayed strong and stayed positive is inspiring me to get back on my feet. So I'm like, I'm not the only one that's going through this, realizing that everybody goes through tragics in life. Death is the most relatable thing in this world because, it's something that we will all face someday. And, seeing my own mother go through it and seeing, her strength throughout the entire battle, keeps me strong as a man to continue to honor her for the rest of my life.
What's your mommy's name?
Bushra.
When I heard that, moms are like such a motivation. Remember Mike Tyson when he fought Buster Douglas? His mom just died.
Yeah.
And Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. When I heard Rico, mom had passed away.
Yeah.
And he was fighting Usyk.
Yeah.
In my back of my mind, I was like, something's pushing this guy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's such a motivation when you have the right. I don't want to say it like this, but the right mom because there is a supportive, strong mom that makes a son feel like he can run through a wall at the same time, comfort him if he doesn't run through the wall.
Yeah.
That's to me, when I seen that struggle, bro, it's affected me in a positive way. It just seeing you driven and seeing what you're doing. I always respected you, but I admire you now. I've been admiring you. I just haven't told you that. The time we had a little conversation when you came to the gym last time and sparred. Yeah. And I asked him, Johnny, what turned around for you? Because I remember when you were young, you had a hard time in the amateurs in the beginning. I didn't say it like that because now we're mic'd up.
I remember what you said.
And he's like,
I used to be trash.
He's like, let me say it for you, man.
I always tell my kids in the ring, you guys can all fight, but you guys need to learn how to win.
Yeah.
You guys got to learn how to win. It's not about fighting. It's about learning how to win.
Learning how to win.
And I saw you learn how to win.
Learn how to win.
Because when you were losing, you weren't getting your butt kicked. You just didn't know how to.
I didn't know how to win.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to win. And that's something that I learned, with experience. It's just, like, I tell that to fighters all the time. Like, find out how to win.
Yeah.
Like, I was sparring, a younger kid today to just help him out.
Yeah.
And I walked out the ring and I'm like, you're wasting all your talent, all your potential. Because you're so good, but you need to figure out how to win.
Yeah.
Because I was that guy one day. I was 14, 15 years old fighting, and I was always losing, and I was always like coming home to shame, like you should stop boxing. You should play like football, basketball, and even my mom before. I remember she would call my Uncle Jack and be like, "Well, my son keeps coming home and crying, and like put him in a different sport." I did not know how to win before, but I figured it out.
What clicked for you, man? I love mindsets.
Fontaine said he wasn't that bad. He was just tuning. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with Fontaine. He wasn't bad. He just didn't understand. Well, we just said it. He didn't understand how to win.
Yeah,
and sometimes Jack and I'm sure Berlin and them were telling him what to do.
Yeah,
it just didn't click in his head.
Didn't click.
and all of a sudden when it clicks, brace yourself. Because here you go. If we went from that to fighting abroad, fighting other countries, and tell them about your first experience in the opens, or like, fighting some really good people. Like, I remember you shared a story with us when you fought in Europe or somebody, or I forgot.
I fought the number one guy or something. That was like your luck, pretty much. And it's crazy because I was fairly new to the amateur game, and the way that you described it, I was like, dang. So sometimes it's the luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much you could be super talented or not. Sometimes you get paired up with the guy who, like, oh, you're obviously gonna beat. Or sometimes you get paired up with the guy who's like the number one guy in the whole ass nation. You're like,
but you're meant to, but you can beat him.
Yeah,
Your qualities can beat him.
Yeah,
absolutely. Your qualities can beat them, but you got to believe in yourself.
Absolutely, man.
So my uncle would always tell me, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. And I would be so frustrated. I'm like, I believe. I believe in myself, but you don't use your tools to the fullest ability. So like for me, what clicked for me was just learning how to believe in myself. I'd always told myself I want to win, but everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
You know, wanting to win is not enough.
Yeah.
It's about the 1%, the small things that you do that matter. So it was kind of just, figuring out and realizing, okay, I lost today, but don't put myself down because I lost to a guy who's number one in the world currently.
Yeah.
Okay, now figure out the details, work on my jab. Everybody wants to win, but not everybody wants to do the things that help you win.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just figuring out, okay, what are my weaknesses and breaking it down slowly and just constantly working. I felt like I worked harder than the entire world and I was still losing.
Yeah.
But working hard is not enough. It's about
true.
working strategically and listening to your coaches. And most importantly, just even if you fight a better guy, you still have a strong, chance to win.
Yeah.
Because you might believe in yourself a lot more than he does.
Very true. That is such a fact.
Get some love on that one, dog.
That is such a fact,
Believe in
man.
yourself. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And my uncle always told me one day is gonna click, and you just gotta believe in yourself. And I'm like, I do believe in myself. But till this day, my coaches tell me, you got a lot of power. You gotta believe in your power.
Yeah.
You gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do. But it's just that mindset of believing in yourself constantly is what makes you figure it out and get better every day.
I think it's when the mind and the heart click. Because you can tell yourself that you believe in yourself all day, but if you don't really feel it deep down, and I'm talking about like every cell in your body, it's just not it. You find out quick that it's not true that you believe in yourself. You really got to feel it,
especially because the mind is quick to tell you, "Fuck, no, you can't."
Exactly.
The mind sometimes I remember sparring people, or I know this happened to you, Johnny, when you're gonna weigh in at a tournament, and you're like, "There's no way that guy weighs the same I do."
Yeah.
Like he looks massive, dog.
It's the little things that matter. Yeah, absolutely. Like as an amateur fighter, like my advice to you guys growing up, like I'm not even joking. The other day, a kid from my gym, I was like, "How you feel? You ready to fight?" All I asked him is, "Are you ready?" And you know what he answered me? He said, "I'm fighting the number one guy." Right away, I knew he was gonna lose.
Yeah, man, it's true.
Right away, I knew he was gonna lose. Like I never asked you who you fighting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's his mindset. I'm fighting the number one guy. Like I asked you, "Are you ready?" Your response should be absolutely. I've been working hard.
Yeah,
that's it. But if you tell yourself I'm fighting the number one guy, or you start talking about your opponent and you start analyzing. Even for me, I hardly film study. Like when I'm fighting somebody, I just want to watch a few minutes, just a few minutes. And once I feel like it clicks, boom, I drop the film. Even if it's only 30 seconds, I'll hardly film study.
Yeah. And sometimes I was just talking about this yesterday, and I can't remember who it was I was speaking to, but I was talking about visualization. Oh, little Chewy. Actually, I was like, visualization is beautiful, but it can also bite you in the ass because you over visualize. The second that something happens other than what you thought in the ring, you start to panic, you start to trip out like, oh man, wait, hold on. This is not what I thought. This is not what I thought. I didn't think I was going to be in this position. And then you start going in this like spiral, and it does not allow you to perform after that, So visualization, if you believe that you only need to see a couple of seconds, that's all you need. Because when the day you go against that, your own mind will just betray you, So it's
I agree.
Johnny, were your parents like a little bit freaking out when you decided to turn pro?
For me, my parents were tripping out more so when I was amateur. Before I made Team USA when I was 18, 19 years old. My parents didn't want me to box. I had to cry when I was 14, 15 years old. anytime there was a national tournament, I had to cry to go to these tournaments just so my dad could, let me go and travel. And it's a lot. It's taking a week off from school. And my dad used to look at me and say, Johnny, you told me you're boxing for fun. Why are you, this is the third time you want to travel across the country and go to this tournament. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, Dad, I'm doing it for fun. He's like, I don't think you're doing it for fun anymore. I was like, all right, Dad, I want to become like a professional boxer one day. And I remember that day where he looked at me and said, this is a dirty sport, go fulfill the family's businesses and grow, expand. And I said, Dad, we put on boxing. We put on boxing. And I said, watch, he's going to knock him out. And he did. And I was like, see, Dad, it's a business behind it. And I started helping him understand, my dad's a businessman. I said, but there's a business behind all of this, that this fight was like, this opponent was set up with this fighter. And I was like, Dad, I can be the best. I can. And he's like, okay, well, you got to prove it to me. You want to do this, and you got to prove it to me.
Dude, that's beautiful.
He booked my flight. He booked my hotel. I went to the tournament, and I lost it. And then
but he lost, but he was gaining knowledge.
He was gaining knowledge, experience, man.
So that was the hard part, is I constantly kept losing, but telling my dad I'm going to be the best one day. But then it was right until I won the nationals and I made it on Team USA, and my dad said, you have all my support. Keep doing what you're doing. My mom loved what I was doing. She supported me all the way. She always bragged about me fighting to her friends.
Yeah.
She was the biggest supporter. And when I turned professional, it was just like, now it's time to shine.
Rock and roll.
I remember asking my mom, like, I remember one time my mom wasn't even getting scared when I would fight anymore. And I'd be like, Mom, I'm fighting this guy. She'd be like, good job. And I'd be like,
he's strong, Mom.
I said it. I was like, yeah, Mom, he's a strong fighter. She's like, yeah, but you're
Johnny.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
You're my son.
Oh my God.
You had the perfect parents to be a fighter.
Absolutely. You need support.
Your dad was kind of like molding you into making your own decisions, and then him questioning you was making sure that you were 100% in. Even though he did, and then your mom was supportive, it was like you got what you need. You know what you needed, Yeah,
supportive.
Yeah, and your tío Jack, amazing.
Jack, he was a pillar. He was a pillar. He told my parents one day it's gonna click. Keep believing in him. Keep supporting him.
Yeah.
And my Uncle Jack, he always told me one day you're gonna be a world champion. And that little seed, sparked everything for me when I was a kid.
Uncle Jack's an awesome man.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I think having support, that support is just a little bit underrated. A lot of people think it's the adversity, man, but it's the support behind that adversity that I think helps you thrive. Because if you think about some of the greatest athletes in the world, they have a strong support system in behind them, So I think that hopefully, instead of focusing too much on the adversity, as one does in boxing, because it's all about telling stories, I think the support system is something that should shine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to see these guys all the time, Maggie. Well, when I go to tournaments, there's only 3 of them, and I don't know what happened to one of them, but it was always Juju, Johnny, and Superfly.
Yeah, Carlos. You remember Carlos?
Yeah.
You know Carlos?
Carlos Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that kid. And it was all 3 of you guys. He was the younger one out of you 2 guys, huh?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you guys were always at tournaments and shows
and
together.
Nico, his little brother growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nico's still at it.
Yeah, that was a good little squad. It feels good when you go to a tournament.
Yeah.
And you would see like Dan or somebody from San Diego at a tournament. You kind of like, hey, what's up?
I know.
Yeah, it's like,
I always seen you guys out, man.
That's cool.
Bashir.
Yeah.
Seen you guys.
It's cool seeing these guys grow up. I'm starting to see it now, and I'm like, man, I wonder later on, maybe like 5 years from now, who's gonna stick around?
I screwed up with Maggie, bro. I took her to the MGM, T-Mobile, big fights.
I went pro first, dude.
All pro, and then I go, Maggie, we got to go back to the amateurs. We got to find passion again, love for the sport. And she's like, we're in a parking lot somewhere now, You go from the T-Mobile to the MGM to a parking lot with the ring falling apart. She's like. And she gets more heated. I had her go in the corner last time.
Oh, yeah.
Because the fighter wasn't he wasn't receptive to what I was telling him. So I said, May, you take over. And she took over, and I can see a little click in his head, But we went from that, and now she's like, she loves the amateurs, but she sees the dirty behind the business.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's a different dirty.
It's different. I was low-key nervous the first time we did amateurs, man. I was
not even worried at the MGM or T-Mobile.
I don't know why.
You started her at the professional.
Yeah.
I did.
No way.
Yeah, she started, so she, yeah.
But so the background is sports psychology. I love it. It intrigues me so much. I studied, I have a bachelor's now, but I think it's so how can I misrepresent it in boxing, dude? And it's something super critical that I really hope soon fighters start to understand that it's so important. And it all starts with one, awareness, and two, the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you allow yourself to talk to yourself in your mind. You know, it's very you can, if you have a rich relationship with yourself, man, you can go far with that. Just like you said, it's you can tell yourself that you believe in yourself all day, but you really, with everything that you have in your mind, body, soul, believe that you can, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
How was it
Yes,
like?
sir.
Is there? Oh, we have another question.
That's that. Yeah, we think we covered all the questions that we really wanted to ask.
What's next for you, Johnny? Anything in the plans? You working on something right now, or
So we're working on August in Michigan. We're currently working on
back to the Chaldean capital?
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, come on, dog.
It's cold over
I
there,
live
man.
in El Cajon, dog. I'm adopted, dog. I live in El Cajon, dog.
So there's actually like a population of 350,000
Oh,
Chaldeans in
dang.
Michigan. So my goal is I have a huge support system out there. So we're planning our next fight to be in Michigan
Oh,
in
that's amazing.
August, and then hopefully coming back to San Diego. Maybe going somewhere else after that, and then coming back to San Diego. Top of next year.
Awesome, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, well,
Michigan.
I could pass for a Chaldean, dog. I mean,
You actually can. He can. I believe it, dude. A little tan, but yeah.
Michigan is cool, man. You're gonna be in August. It's nice and warm.
Yeah, no, it's gonna
Is
be
it?
good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know this.
Just drop some comments. What's the best boxing gym in San Diego? No, I'm just joking.
Trying to start a war up in here, man.
Hey, it's funny because
just clip that and boom.
it's funny because when Berlin and Robert come over to the gym,
Yeah.
I never talk shit to them, but Coach Sheeraz did
Yeah.
all the time.
Dang.
But joking around,
Oh,
joking.
Friendly competition.
Every competition,
Yeah.
and I've always had nothing but love for both of them.
Yeah.
And Bashir left now, and now they come in talking shit to me. So I'm fighting about. I got Maggie though. We'll fight.
Yeah.
No, I love Robert and Berlin, both of them, man.
I love seeing them at shows, man, at the amateur shows and the the pro shows. It's pretty cool. I love the community that we have in San Diego, man. I think it's all about helping each other out at the end of the day. This is such a small world, man. It's such a small world. We all help each other out.
Hey, Johnny, did Berlin ever tell you when me and him fought?
You fought Berlin? Really?
Yeah, nobody knows this hardly.
You fought Berlin? Like you completely
No,
fought
we
like amateur fight?
No, I'm way older than him. But I was
Sparring?
we went at it, bro.
Wait, like
Like
a
10
long
years
time
ago, maybe more than
Really?
that. About 12 years ago, Undisputed they used to have a Undisputed in El Cajon on the main street.
Yeah.
And I went in there to help one of my fighters teach the classes because he was having a hard time keeping members there. So I'm in downtown. So here comes Coach Joe, helps his fighter. And Berlin shows up with Baby Bull and all them.
Oh yeah.
And then
That
he's
was a
like,
squad.
I got my gear on to spar with the members in the class. And then
Yeah.
Berlin goes, I want some of that.
Yeah.
You can ask him. We'll tag him. and we went at it, dog.
Yeah.
We went at it we only did 2 rounds. We're both retired and old, but we went at it, dog, for 2 rounds.
Who got the best of what?
I'll let him. You ask him that. We can run it again, Berlin, if you want it, dog.
Shoot.
Hey, this is before the video days,
Yeah.
huh? Before people were recording sparring all
Yeah,
the time.
nobody was
Dang.
recording shit, dog. We went at it. And it
Dang.
was really cool. It was really cool.
Berlin was a beast.
But I had like a lot of fights, bro, a shitload, and I had a lot more experience.
Yeah.
But Berlin is fucking good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just knocking people
You
out.
know what I love about Berlin? Berlin would train with Cece. They were grew up together, and there's their era. And Cece was my student,
Yeah.
so I'm a lot older than Berlin. But it was fun. It's all competitive, bro. He'll say he beat me up. I'll say I beat him up.
Yeah.
But it was fun, bro. It was really good.
Maybe you guys got to run it back.
Run it again. Go live on
filming
it.
that
Go
shit
live
this
on
time.
TikTok, dog.
I'll
We got to handicap it now, though, because I'm a little older, dog. Berlin can only use one hand.
Look, man, we had a lot of great boxing gyms in San Diego, and big shout out to the San Diego community, man, for coming together on April 18th at our last fight. For
Yeah.
not just for me, not just for Juju, but for all the fighters on the undercard.
True.
It was a great night of boxing, and for all the San Diego fighters that are watching, you'll get your time one day. Continue to grind and continue to work hard and put God first, and one day, we'll all have an opportunity to shine on the big stages, and that's your moment. And when the moment comes, you got to be ready for it. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I faced those moments, when I went to the World Championships, as an amateur, I always dreamed for it. And when it came, I felt like I wasn't ready for it. You know, I felt like it came so fast. So your moment will always come faster than you even know it in life.
Yeah,
It's all
absolutely.
about, God shines the light on everybody. There's seasons for everybody, and it's all about being ready for your moment. So for everyone that's watching, to all the amateurs in San Diego, continue to work hard. And it's beautiful that we have all these gyms and we all come together and spar,
help each other.
help each other out. And the future is bright for the city.
I
absolutely agree.
I always said San Diego. If we get together, we're gonna be. We're in the middle of LA and Tijuana,
Yeah.
two mega boxing
Yeah.
places. You know,
Exactly.
so we got to come together and help each other. We'll smash anyone.
Oh, and I think it's really close. That time is really, really close. I truly believe that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, guys, don't forget to share, like, subscribe. What else? Comment.
Comment, hype, all that shit,
Comment
man.
down the best boxing gym in San Diego.
You know,
Try to
you
start
guys-
some shit, man.
And right now, you guys got on fire, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give
man.
it
You
to
guys, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
active,
you guys are on fire.
active.
You guys are active, but don't fuck up because we're gonna catch up to you, dog.
Hey, we got to get some more work in.
Yeah, you know it. You
Hell
know it. I love you.
yeah.
I love when you're here.
Always.
Gym soon.
Yes, sir.
Love getting work with you guys.
Always, man. Always. All doors are always open, man.
Peace, man. Thank
Peace
you guys so
out.
much.
Yeah, I think the words, but sometimes they don't come out of my mouth no good.